that killed one person is still under investigation.
In Wharton County, 8 people arrested for stealing several four-wheelers.
And a woman in the hospital after she was hit by an SUV this morning on James Coleman Drive.
Well, we made it to 102 degrees today. Pretty much the entire state was in triple digits, except for you lucky folks down in Rockport and Seadrift. You're only in the mid-90s. Still hot, but there is hope for the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up.
And the Victoria Northeast Ball Club finished its game just a little while ago, and this team is hoping to make it to the Little League World Series. That's coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 10. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Karina Garcia.
New at 10, Amber Alert tonight out of Tyler, where police are searching for an 11-month-old boy after officers try to take custody of him under an order from Child Protective Services. When officers arrived to pick up Jamar Ross, the child was not there, and they learned he is likely with his mother, 26-year-old Tarhandia Jackson. Those who have information about Jamar Ross or Jackson are asked to contact the Tyler Police Department at 903-531-1000.
A woman was hit by a car this morning. It happened around 10 a.m. westbound on James Coleman Drive. Police say an SUV hit the woman who was crossing the road. The impact was at low speed, but the woman did have to go to the hospital.
A pedestrian was crossing the roadway southbound. Driver of the SUV didn't see the pedestrian and struck him with the front right of the car.
The woman is expected to be okay.
The cause of a 4th of July grain elevator collapse in Bee County that killed one person and injured 2 others still being investigated. 37-year-old Sergio Jason Alberto Alvarez pronounced dead at the scene after his body was recovered from under the debris. The incident occurred at a grain elevator located on State Highway 359 in Tynan. Bert Mengers and Andres Martinez were injured and were transported to a Corpus Christi hospital. OSHA is conducting the investigation.
Monday morning, Goliad County Sheriff's deputies responded to a convenience store for a burglary alarm. Deputies found that the offender was gone and the store owner reported items were missing. Deputies found 18-year-old Farrell Palacios. After questioning, he was confessing to the burglary and he is now in the Goliad County Jail. 8 people arrested by Wharton County Sheriff's deputies early Tuesday morning. The 8 are accused of stealing several four-wheelers from a home on County Road 360 in Warren County. 3 of the people in custody, Devontae Blunston, Trinston Foley, and Dylan Villarreal, are from El Campo. Deputies were able to recover all stolen property. Now, no injuries reported after a structure was heavily damaged after a fire in Jackson County Tuesday afternoon. The fire was at County Road 128 near Edna. It happened at a large grass fire. About 50 acres were on fire and the fire was contained Tuesday afternoon.
An open house held Tuesday for the FM 236 widening project. More than 80 concerned citizens came out to hear if there will be any conflicts from this potential reconstruction. It is still unknown if any roads or homes will have to be bought for right-of-way for this project. The changes are still just a proposal until a start date is set.
The community will be informed along the way. There will be detours. They're not going to be stuck in their homes. Driveways won't be blocked. Whatever goes on there, the community will be informed the whole way, with least impact and least inconvenience to them.
You can find more information at textdot.gov and click on FM 236 project. If you have comments or concerns, then you could submit those up until August 2nd. Let's take a first look at your forecast with First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis. I was mentioning this to Mac earlier, and I'll mention this again. Since Friday, the Texas A&M Forest Service has responded to 15 wildfires for 427 acres burned, and Mac, another 50 acres burned today in Jackson County.
Yeah, and that's not too far away. So we're all in this hot weather pattern, folks, and now that everything's really drying out, fires are a problem. So if you're driving around, country roads or something like that, do be cautious, because even a hot exhaust on your truck may have a problem for us. 84 right about now. As I mentioned, we got up to 102, 78 the overnight low. That compares to a record of 106. Don't want to go there, but we'll talk about maybe a little break as we get into the weekend. All that coming up in a moment.
Mac, thank you. At least 8 people were hurt in separate shootings in the Dallas area over the weekend. 1 person died. On Saturday, Dallas police responded to 2 separate incidents where 3 people were hurt by gunfire. On Sunday, 8 other people were shot in 3 more incidents where 1 person died. A mother who lost her son to gun violence 2 years ago is advocating for change. She joined an organization in Dallas called No More Violence. An autopsy report confirms the man who fired on shoppers at the Allen Premium Outlets in North Texas on May 6, killing 8 people and wounding 7 others, was shot and killed by a police officer. The report shows the gunman had 3 distinct gunshot wounds, including one to the head that was immediately fatal. The gunman was shot twice, one in the upper right ear and once in the right arm. The medical examiner's report confirmed none of the gunman's wounds were self-inflicted and were the result of law enforcement action. 3 children and 3 adults were killed, including a mall security guard. In a North Texas courtroom today, prosecutors showed the video of the student who opened fire in a 2021 shooting. We warn you, the video could be disturbing for viewers. Prosecutors say Timothy Simpkins opened fire inside the Mansfield Timberview High School. No one was killed, but 3 people were hurt. Investigators said the gunman was fighting with another classmate. After he lost the fight, Simpkins drew a gun and began to open fire. Simpkins pleaded not guilty, but before the trial, his family and legal team said he was a victim of bullying and was defending himself. He now faces charges of attempted capital murder, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and unlawful carrying of a weapon in a prohibited place. Now, a shocking new report states troopers at the Texas border were reportedly told to push migrants back into the river and deny them drinking water.
The trooper has been identified by KTRK in Houston as Nicholas Wingate, but Operation Lone Star officials say no orders have been given that would, quote, compromise the lives of those attempting to cross the border illegally, unquote.
Tonight, the Texas Department of Public Safety under investigation after concerning claims that troopers, and in some cases the Texas National Guard, were directed to push migrants back into the Rio Grande River and deny them water in the scorching heat. ABC News obtaining an email sent by a Texas DPS trooper to a superior earlier this month. The trooper reporting on conditions he said he had witnessed, writing, quote, "I believe we have stepped over a line into the inhumane." The trooper describing a patrol on June 25th when they came across a large group of exhausted and hungry migrants, among them, quote, several small children and babies who were nursing. The trooper writing, quote, "We were given orders to push the people back into the water to go to Mexico," adding, quote, "We decided this was not the correct thing to do with the very real potential of exhausted people drowning." Their command allegedly repeating the order to push migrants back despite the trooper's concerns. That trooper also warning about the newly installed razor wire along the Rio Grande. ABC News obtaining gruesome photos showing injuries caused by the wire. In his email, the trooper saying the wire forces people to cross in unsafe areas. He says 5 people drowned earlier this month, including children. Today, Texas Governor Greg Abbott's office defended the barbed wire and other measures, stating in part, Texas is deploying every tool and strategy to deter and repel illegal crossings between ports of entry. The White House today responding to the reports.
The human indecency that we're seeing, potentially, if this is true, is just wrong. It is just completely wrong.
Now, the Texas Department of Public Safety pushing back on these allegations, but its director calling for a, quote, full audit of its protocols. Meanwhile, the Texas Military Department issuing a statement saying, quote, there is no order or directive instructing service members to push illegal immigrants back into the river or deny them drinking water. Matt Rivers, ABC News, San Antonio, Texas.
And so this brings us to your viewer poll tonight. Scan that QR code on your screen to vote now. The question is, what do you want to see happen next? Criminal charges, more investigation, or suspension? Well, according to these results tonight, 72% say criminal charges, 26% want more investigation, and 2% say suspension. Thank you for voting tonight. Visit us tomorrow for our latest viewer poll.
Firefighters in Houston battled a large blaze at a hotel today. The fire at the Motel 6 on West Sam Houston Parkway quickly ramped up to 3 alarms this afternoon. Large flames, as you can see there, and smoke could be seen coming from the building. Temperatures at the time were near 100 degrees with a heat index near 110. It is unknown at this time what caused the fire. Michigan's Attorney General filed felony charges against 16 Republicans who are accused of acting as fake electors for then-President Donald Trump in 2020. They are accused of submitting false certificates confirming they were legitimate electors. The group includes the head of the Republican National Committee's chapter in Michigan, as well as the former co-chair of the Michigan Republican Party. The Attorney General claimed there is a, quote, coordinated effort, unquote, among Republican parties in battleground states to push so-called alternate slates of electors with fake documents. DPS Communications Chief Travis Considine tweeted out the messages sent between DPS Director Stephen McGraw and his chain command about the challenges in addressing the treatment of migrants. He wrote, quote, troopers give migrants water, they treat their wounds, they save them from drowning, they also do everything possible to deter them from risking their lives in the first place, unquote. You can read those messages at our Twitter feed, Crossroads Today. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then we're on YouTube, then you can get us, Crossroads Today. And stay with us. Coming up on 25 News now at 10. New details in 2 serial killer investigations, one in Oregon and one in Long Island, New York.
Also ahead, Las Vegas police served a search warrant in the Tupac Shakur investigation.
Hi, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs with the Victoria Police Department. Victoria Crime Stoppers is seeking information about an unsolved murder. On October 21, 1970, at approximately 1 p.m., Lynn Holman Dean was found dead at a liquor store at the 2300 block of Port Lavaca Drive. Officers with the Victoria Police Department discovered her body while investigating a robbery of the store. Dean was a 24-year-old white female who worked at the store. If you have any information about this murder, please call Victoria Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200. You can also submit a tip by using the P3 Tip app on your Android or Apple device, or by visiting our website at www.victoriacrimestoppers.com. All tips are anonymous, and if you give information that leads to an arrest or charges being filed, you can earn a cash reward. With the Victoria Police Department, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs.
A toddler has died after being shot in her home in California on Monday. The incident was reported around 7:30 p.m. Deputies arrived and found the 1-year-old with a, quote, head injury, unquote. Police say a 3-year-old shot and killed a 1-year-old sibling with a handgun left unsecured inside the home. The child was taken to a nearby hospital where she was later pronounced dead. Now, it's not clear where the children's parents were at the time of the shooting, but an investigation is pending. There's new details in 2 serial killing investigations in both the West and East Coast.
On Long Island, New York, detectives say they found new evidence at the home of the suspect charged in the murders of 3 women. And in Oregon, investigators saying the mysterious deaths of 4 women this year, all linked.
In Oregon, a bombshell announcement in the suspicious deaths of at least 4 women. After investigators first said the murders of Kristen Smith, Charity Perry, Bridget Webster, and Ashley Reel were unrelated, now acknowledging they believe the killings are all linked. Their bodies discovered this year in various locations after being reported missing. Authorities say they now have a person of interest in custody. The district attorney's office hasn't elaborated on how he might be connected to the victims who were killed, but said they've conducted several interviews and the investigation is ongoing. The revelation in Oregon comes just as investigators in New York expand their search for evidence in the Gilgo Beach serial killings. Crews in Chester, South Carolina, searching a property owned by Gilgo Beach murder suspect Rex Heuermann. Authorities say this Chevy pickup truck is linked to the investigation. Police in Long Island believe Heuermann is the suspect in the 2010 murders of 3 women who worked as escorts, Melissa Bartholomé, Megan Waterman, Amber Costello, and is a prime suspect in the killing of Maureen Brainerd Barnes. Their bodies found wrapped in burlap along Gilgo Beach. Police have been searching for evidence in Heuermann's Long Island home and say they retrieved more than 200 guns.
How concerning is that he had that kind of an arsenal?
Well, I mean, I think it was concerning, and concerning enough where we didn't want to have the arrest at the house.
Prosecutors say the architect and father lived a double life. Investigators are now checking to see if Heuermann could be tied to any other unsolved murders. The search has also expanded to Las Vegas. Tim Pulliam, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Authorities in Las Vegas confirmed Tuesday they have served a search warrant this week in connection with the long unsolved killing of rapper Tupac Shakur. Shakur was fatally shot in September 1996 in a drive-by shooting in Las Vegas. He was 25 years old. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department says the search warrant was executed in the nearby city of Henderson. The department did not provide further details on the search, citing the open investigation.
71 dogs are being sent to an animal rescue in Tennessee after being found in deplorable conditions in Mississippi. The dogs were found at 2 trash properties in Newton. Animal rescuers say the dogs were without access to food, clean water, or medical care. Also dead and carcasses were found on the properties. 2 of the dogs found had to be immediately euthanized because of their conditions.
Pulling dogs from shelters around the South and taking them to a 9-acre property in Newton County and tying the dogs to a tree and going out and getting more.
The dogs are being taken to a rescue center where they will receive the care needed to place them with shelters and adoption groups. The couple who owned them was arrested for felony animal cruelty charges.
Well, good evening, everyone. We're looking at our temperatures today. Can you see how many triple digits we had? Pretty much everybody in the state except for those of you along the coast. Now tomorrow, another triple digit day, but the triple digits are going to be coming down, and we got a chance for some showers this weekend. All that coming up in a moment. Well, good evening, everybody. I wanted to start off with this map, and I wanted to bring it to your attention. This is from Climate Reanalyzer. It's the University of Maine, and their specialty is to take data and put it into a pretty picture that tells you a lot more than just the straight numbers. So when you see here in red is water temperature, this is sea surface temperatures, in red, and that means that the water temperature is above 82 degrees. So 82 degrees, all the way across. Of course, this is the South Pacific. That's always on the, or what they call the West Pack. That's always warm. But here, right here, is where it was relatively cool for the last couple of years because of La Nina. Of course, all this water was up to, this green water was up here. Well, now it's warmed up, and that's why we're getting the storms. You can see exactly where the hurricanes develop. Right here, right here, right here, and then right here, and then they go this way. So follow the warm water and follow it. But I wanted you to take a look. I mean, they have a ton of albums. It's a great website, Climate Reanalyzer, if you want to see all of the crazy things that are going on in the Northern Hemisphere summer right now. This will give you an idea if you really want to understand what's going on in the globe. I mean, I'll be here talking, but I only get 3 minutes to talk. I could go for hours. Anyway, on our satellite, you can see we had this is, well, let's see, let's go back a little bit. We had, of course, the hot weather. This evening, we've got nary a cloud in the sky. All the activity is up here in Tennessee and Louisiana, where they had a derecho. A derecho is basically, derecho is straight, but it's a line of storms that travel almost in a straight path. You see it right there. And they were pretty nasty as they went by. The good news, they were racing by pretty quickly. So for tomorrow, we continue with the heat advisories, again, triple digits, but there's a little bit of a change coming for the weekend because the dome of high pressure, the center of it, is going to move a little bit. Right now, it's on top of us. That's why we've got the triple digits. That's why we're fairly dry. I don't know if you noticed, but there was not that much humidity out there today, but the humidity is coming back as this thing is going to be moving back to the west. Now that's going to give us a break as it moves away. We're going to see pressures drop along here, just enough to give us a little bit of cloud cover and maybe a few isolated showers. Now there won't be a lot. It's not enough to really, you know, jump up and scream about, but it's something. Here we go, future tracker to Friday, and you can see if, you know, a little shower possible. But Saturday, oh yeah, we do got a good chance of getting something going around here. And then on Sunday, we still have enough moisture and loose atmosphere to allow something to pop up. It also goes into Monday, so we're pretty excited that we may get something around here over the weekend rather than this wall-to-wall sunshine we've seen for the past few weeks. 81 tomorrow morning in Port Lavaca, getting up to 95. Tomorrow, just sunny, hot, and very hot. Okay, and then in Cuero, they're low, it will be 78, getting up to 101, but it's not 103. And we are still going to be on the hot side, and we're still going to have a high humidity index, but you'll notice the triple digits will drop a little bit. By Saturday, we'll see some clouds, a few little isolated showers in the afternoon hours, peaking on Sunday and Monday, and hopefully maybe you'll get one in your yard. Wow, free water from the sky, what a concept. That's your 7-day forecast, folks. We do have a QR code. We'd love for you to scan that and put Crossroads Today on your cell phone. Here's Gina with sports.
Thanks, Mac. The UIAL State Games will be held in Jerry World. That's coming up after the break. At a Crossroads, let's see how the Little League baseball team from Victoria did against Lufkin. In the final inning of play, Landon Gandy launches one to left field. The ball goes all the way to the fence, and Gandy is in for a stand-up double, 7-4 in the final inning. After a few plays, the pitcher throws a wild pitch, and Gandy goes ahead and comes on in to score, and that would be vital in the game. Victoria is 1 out away from winning the state title. Shallow pop-up to left field, but it drops. Now there's bases loaded for Lufkin. Still 1 out away. A high bouncing ball just over the pitcher goes up the middle. The second baseman fields it, and it's another bad throw. 2-run score. Uh-oh, now it's getting a little shaky there. 8-7, runner on second and first. The momentum on the side of the purple and white. Ball hit to the shortstop. He fields it, touches the plate. Victoria wins the doubleheader and will move on to the next round. 8-7 final score. The Industrial Major Girls All-Star team are the Texas East State champions as well. Industrial was undefeated and in the winner's bracket until last night, losing to Columbus in extra innings, 4-1. Good thing it was a double elimination tournament because in the game after the first one, Industrial won a close one 6-5. Now they will join Texas West, Colorado, New Mexico, and Louisiana in Waco, July 24th through the 27th for the next round. The Generals came into tonight losers of 4 of their last 5, trying to break that streak. The Generals shut out last night 3-0, and in the second inning, the River Monsters get on the board first on a RBI single and score again in the 4th inning. Generals offense can't get anything going until they put up a run in the 6th, and then eventually in the 8th inning, the Generals take the lead on a throwing error and would add 1 more for good measure to win 4-2. The Generals will be at home to take on the River Monsters tomorrow at 7:05. Well, we all know Texas is king in football, and the biggest high school football games will be played in the crown jewel of Arlington. For the next 2 seasons, the University Interscholastic League State Football Championship games will be held in Arlington for at least the next 2 years. Refugio head coach Jason Herring was critical in that Arlington is the host stadium for football games every year because it puts the schools that are further away at a disadvantage. Well, last night, the Houston Rockets and Cleveland Cavaliers both came into the Summer League Championship game with an undefeated record and looking to hoist the trophy. The Cavs were led by the 2022 first-round draft pick in Isaiah Mobley, who would score 28 points and snagged 11 rebounds and 3 assists. Houston struggled to score early on and brought the game within 6 at one point, but eventually the Cavs would pull away and win by 21 points. Final score 99-78. Well, that's your sports. Don and Karina, back to you.
Thanks, Juno. Stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 10, we'll take a last look at your weather, plus 2 Barbies flown to space now on display in Virginia.
Happening overseas could be a blow to American wallets. Moscow is no longer allowing Ukraine to safely export grain. The price has already ticked up in global markets. Meanwhile, AAA says within the past 2 weeks, gas prices have been edging higher. That's as Saudi Arabia is planning to reduce oil production this summer. Now the Federal Reserve is signaling it will raise interest rates again this month. The Gion Matsuri Festival has reached its climax with a float procession in the ancient Japanese capital of Kyoto amid the summer heat. Participants pulled a total of 23 decorated floats. Wow, that looks nice there, through the streets of the ancient Japanese capital as musicians played the drum and flute. The festival, one of 3 major festivals in Japan, and is held throughout the month of July. Now, they mentioned the heat there in Japan, but I'm kind of wondering. Oh,
They're
watch
pushing
that.
it.
Oh man, yeah, watch.
They're really pushing it.
Yeah.
They're turning it on straws. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'd have to get a straw poll there to see how hard that was. But now, how hot in Japan? They didn't mention the temperature, so how hot would it?
Well,
any guess?
All of the northern hemisphere is really baking, so I'm sure that they were
I can imagine.
near the 100-degree mark over there as well. Because I mean, in the Mediterranean, anything, it's summer. It's summer and it's hot, but now it's doubly hot because of the amount of pollution that we put up in the air. We are going to be in the triple digits again tomorrow and probably Thursday, but by Friday you're going to start seeing a few little clouds. Keep your fingers crossed. I'm trying to get everybody to wash their car so that for the weekend it rains, because it always happens like that to me. So I'm even going to wax it, just to see if it'll rain this coming weekend. So a few isolated showers during the afternoons this coming Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
All right.
Alrighty, Mac, thank you. There are 2 Barbies that are out of this world. These Barbies are part of the National Air and Space Museum collection and on display at a space center in Northern Virginia. These are the only 2 Barbies to travel into space and visit the International Space Station back in 2022. The exhibit aims to encourage young girls to pursue careers in STEM. And these Mission Dreamstar Barbies are a collaboration between Mattel and NASA, just in time for the Barbie movie this weekend, actually.
When you were growing up, did you have Barbies?
I did have Barbies. I had a few. But if I'm being really honest here, I was more of a fan of the dinosaurs because of the Land Before Time. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
There you go.
the Land Before Time. I was a dinosaur girl.
How about that? Very good. I have all my daughter's Barbies still in a box, never opened them.
Wow.
Because Mom says, leave them in the box. They'll be more valuable later on.
She's right. I heard the latest Barbie was like in the thousands. So,
We got to go sell them.
My wife never got a Barbie when she was growing up, and then she told that to a friend of hers, and the friend gave her a Barbie. This was like years later. So she still has that Barbie. It's meant something.
I love those kinds of stories. All righty. Well, thank you for joining us for 25 News Now at 10.
Join Carolina Astroin and meteorologist Trey Mining. 25 News Now Sunrise starting at 5 a.m. Good night and stay cool, everybody.